herb garden. These past few weeks we've spent together have been wonderful, really. But you've, how do you say this? You're big, you're too big, and you gotta get out. Shut up, dear. You'll be fine. I would never intentionally want to harm you. It will make you a new home, and we'll see if you survive. Yay, baggy pillows. Come here, Rockwell cubes. I don't need them, so it doesn't matter. Clay pebbles holds moisture, sort of stabilizes the plant stems, mostly just blocks light. 3-inch neck cups. Plants go in here. Now excuse me. Gotta spend some quality time with the pillows by. It's perfect. I'm smart. Plants go in 3-inch wide PVC joints, 8 inches between each plant. Nutrient solution pumps up 1/2-inch PVC pipe to internal vinyl hose, drips down roots into reservoir bucket, cycles through into infinity. I'm ready to go out into the world. Well, hello there. I am a normal person, and I would like to purchase some of your wares. What? You know, has discontinued. Oh my god, 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 oh my god. I returned with a bucket. So I cried for days. Not really. Anyway, time to order more things. I waited, and they arrived. 4 pieces. 1 long, 2, less long, 2 short. All from food grade, 1/2-inch tubing. 1/2-inch connector tees. 3 of them. A heat gun makes the hose soft and flexible. Shove the long tube onto the bottom of a tee, like this. Shove the 2 short tubes on the other sides of the tee, like that. Shove another tee onto one of the short tubes, like this. Shove a long tube onto the new tee. Shove another long tube onto the other end of the tee. On the other short tube, shove in the 3rd tee. Connect the 2. Boom. Knit the steering wheel. It's big enough to stay up in the bucket, and it connects to a 400-gallon-per-hour submersible pump. I don't know. Sounds debatable. Every time I say this, it sounds like I'm saying these strippers. But these drippers came the fastest, so I got them. It counts, but I think they were the right choice now. I've seen people use drills for this, but I just used scissors. Don't do it too big. I did a bunch of them. Time to make holes. Now, originally, I had bought a hole saw and an adapter, but I had some issues with stabilizing the lid and the torque of the drill causing it to fly off. It made me very nervous because, well, let's bring up a still from a Be Not Slothful video. You can see where this is going. So I opted for the less dangerous version. Obviously, I'm just drilling a bunch of holes and then using a knife to cut it. So yeah, it's jagged. Whatever. Fight me. I did the same thing to cut the slit for the power cord. And I did this because I thought that cutting into the side of the lid in a way where the pump could be removed would mess with the rubber that seals it shut. This is the part where I find out it doesn't work. Well, shoot. There must be a way. Much better. Goes right into the net cup. This thing is loud. And I try to think to break the fall of the water, but it was sharp. It didn't work. Gotta make sure plant matter doesn't get into the pump. Once it gets into the tubing, ain't no way to get it out. Moving the plants now. Well, 3 of them. I got a lot to get it out of the hole. That's not gonna work. Better. But plastic waste sucks. Plastic jagged edges. Awesome. It's fine. I kept the small plants in the arrow garden. The light shines down on the bucket. Plus 2 LED bulbs in clamp light. I used the clay pebbles to block the light and stabilize the bases. I put it in another bucket. It blocks more of the light. It's white, so the light permeability is an issue. The top especially is bad for that. The little gasket on the lid makes refilling the water really convenient. We can just leave them now that they've got nutrients. And as long as there's enough water in the system, it should work. Good luck, little dudes. Oh crap. That's bad. So the plants had to be transferred to wide-mouth mason jars. The foil keeps the light out. This stuff. This is the stuff. This is where the leak comes from. The capillary action creeps up and along the cord and out the side. I used a lot. Probably more than I needed. Don't let the silicone compromise the seal between the rim and the lid. Make sure the cord that the silicone comes in contact with doesn't interact, because it can melt. I'm not all that sure about my own cord, so yeah. Obviously this now makes the pump no longer removable, and I probably wouldn't have had the leak in the first place if I had cut the slit into the lid. Oh, and the tubing, when it's broken in, it softens, so now the wheel of drippers has gone flaccid. I gotta find a way to keep it up. Oh look, we're drilling. Always have a stash of zip ties. And now I have to reach down into the gross water to unhook the pump, and I have to cut the ties in order to remove the lid. Super annoying. The plants are now back in the bucket, growing very well, and I'm very happy. So green. The Genovese basil is flowering, which is fine. The bucket is in a storage bin, just in case. No leaking so far, but I have my computer right next to the grow area. That would be very bad. The smaller plants seem to like the increase in space. Oh yeah, and I got some timers. One for the light, and one for the pump. One's from Apollo. 4 minutes on, 20 minutes off. I'm roughly matching the Aero Garden. The timing is arbitrary. Try to not read too much into it. The time, basil. I forgot to mention that when they were in the mason jars, I added hydrogen peroxide. The peroxide kills the bacteria that causes root rot. The roots are now white and thick with 3 C's. Damn, Carl. You can really see the difference with the dill. Very early 2000s boy band, frosted tips. See those short roots at the top? They're called air roots. The rest of the roots reaching down into the water reservoir. Days after the peroxide bath, the roots began to go brown and soft. Nature finds a way, until I find a way to kill it. I decided to add more peroxide to the water. I'm using 3 milliliters of peroxide per 4 liters of water, about every 10 days. I don't know why I recorded this. I used a mason jar to fill the reservoir. The markings go up to 1,600 milliliters. 1 liter is 1,000 milliliters. We're gonna add 1,600 milliliters of Toronto tap water. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Don't look at my butt. 5 times 1,600 is 8,000. 8,000 milliliters is 8 liters. Therefore, add 3 milliliters per 4 liters. That would be 6 milliliters of peroxide. Now use a pipette and gloves and goggles, because 29% peroxide can burn you. Don't leave any glasses around just in case you accidentally drink it. I felt that adding it to a filled bucket was safer, more convenient, because you're handling the undiluted peroxide for less time. Once diluted, it's not so bad. Agitate with a mixing stick. Another thing I always have a stash of. Time to leave them to grow some more. And they did grow. Lush and green and healthy. And then things turned. Grotesque. vulgar.
The orange horns can make us sleep as well. And better than the stroke.
Are they starving?
No, and one short sleep has
Unbalanced?
death shall be no more. And death shall be no more.
They are trying to mate in my room.
Death be not proud, though some have called thee mighty and dreadful.
The black tips have returned.
For those whom thou thinkst thou dost overthrow. Die not, poor death, nor yet canst thou kill me.
And the stems,
Rest and sleep,
they rot.
much pleasure than remedy.
The roots are long and wrap around each other. The tubing, the pump they've grown into and through the netting.
Thou art slave,
A futile attempt to try to control whatever's plaguing the Thai basil. The Genovese basil is doing a lot better. The mint has the same black leaves and is particularly bad, but it's been like this for a long time. The parsley, it looks great on the top, but the bottom parts need to go. I did pinch off the flowers at first, but I know that this is the end time. I don't really eat herbs, so I wanted to see what would happen if I just left it. If I could get seeds to sow. Many days and nights passed, neglected, growing more and more twisted. I dare not enter.
shall be no more. Death thou shalt die.
A spindly demon, full of intent to set upon the earth its progeny.
Thou shalt die.
Below that flowering display of fecundity festers something fierce. I cannot bear to face.
Thou shalt die. Be not proud, though some have called thee. Those whom thou
The dead and blackened leaves
dost throw,
manifest my inadequacy.
but yet against thou
I am left to wonder.
from thee much more flow.
Take care.
Rest, thou best men, to go. Rest their bones, and sin stillness ends. Thou art a slave to fate, chance, desperate men, and dost the poison war. Block you all, this one, better than thy stroke. One short sleep passed, we wake eternally, and death shall be no more. Death shalt die.
Nutrient deficiencies cause these shifts in color, but they add so much to the aesthetics. Simulated fall in springtime.
Death be not proud,
self-pollinating. So I feel bad cutting it short. This one had the same hair as me. It's hard to tell if they've completed their transformation. The Thai basil makes these perfect purple flowers. I don't want to disturb anything. So dense and hopeful. I'm gonna tell you something. Having this in my room has really helped with my mood. A place of perpetual summer, a Narnian window. Of course, the season's inversed. I would reach in and touch it and feel this primordial connection. Calm, still. I could almost hear the wind. I was never really interested in gardening. I felt it was a necessary skill that I needed to learn. But now I'm drawn to it more and more, as I thought I would never be. I think it's just me getting old. Being pulled closer and closer to whence we came. How trite to want to die and leave your genes behind. Yuck. A monument to what we were and who we loved. Yourself, in the case of the dill, since it's self-pollinating. Nothing wrong with that. Just don't do it too much. I hear you go blind. They're just plants, right? But I know these pretty little pictures make me sentimental. In all seriousness, I do really recommend this. I think it's a really good exercise to put effort into something so precarious. A reminder that everything ends. You too will wither and decay, and hopefully get put out of your misery and tossed in the yard waste. Okay, it's time. If you want to see a video of me cutting these down, it's available on my channel right now. Well, I guess that's it, folks. Thanks again for watching.